Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Lessons Learned by Lisa show. And tonight, I have three really dynamic fathers that are going to tell us a little bit of what it means to be a father in the 21st century. So without further ado, we're just going to get this party started. We're going to start out with the one that has the youngest one in the bunch. What's up, Corey?
How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all having me. Corey Washington, another son of Miss Lisa. We're running it back. I'm actually newest of being fathers. My daughter's 17 months old. She's a true blessing. She's just a true blessing, and just something I never knew I needed until I had her. So, it's just been nice.
That. Yeah. And next we got Alvin, who's got a 3-year-old.
Myrtle Beach, baby. Yeah. Alvin Green, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Miss Lisa's another mother. I can confide in her. She's taught me a lot along the way and helped me tremendously, just with, relationships and talks and, my son. So thank you for that. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you listening, son. And then I got my son that's got all the kids up in there. He got a whole wealth of knowledge to share with us tonight. What's up, Will?
What's up? Yes, sir. William Corbin, one of Miss Lisa's oldest sons. That's my second mom. She's been around for all 4 of my children. So yeah, we got a story to tell today. And thanks for allowing me to be on the show.
Okay, so we're gonna just start this party off, right? And so Corey,
yes.
We're gonna start with you. When you found out that you were going to be a father, what was the first things that went through your mind?
Oh, this is different. Shock. I can't afford it.
Well, obviously you couldn't afford not to.
I can't afford it.
Yeah, I can't afford it. That's real talk. What's this mean for us? Like, how we going? What's to come? I saw 5 years down the road and I didn't know what I was looking at. So it was just all pure shock. It was a lot of communicating in between me and baby girl's mom, and we made the best decision that we could, and we wouldn't look back and make another one. It was definitely uncomfortable conversations, but also it was like just honest conversations at that. So it was just one of those things that you can't plan for, and just pure shock. That's exactly all I can say. Pure shock.
Well, I can say that because you could have the uncomfortable conversation, that means that you guys have got to be kind of mature, like both of you. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because I say this to like people I talk to and everything. Being in a relationship with someone before being a parent, you're two different people. So like your main priority is the child. Before it was literally how to keep our relationship together. Now it's literally our main focus is on how to provide for this child. And we got to go ahead each day, and, grasp at each other who we are. We're different people than who we were before. So you can't it's not looking back, it's looking for the futures, so.
Okay. So Alvin, can you follow up with that? Because you the next on the block, your baby is 3 years old.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think, but I think I felt like Black Rob. I was like, whoa. I had to go down. I think I had like these spitting images of how I was and what I was doing and just being a young buck out here. And then I had them images of like, yeah, I can see me right now, sitting on the couch, man, enjoying life like that, enjoying getting outside with him each and every day. And But it was definitely a shock. But at the same token, it was a blessing. I'm not gonna say I was ready, because I don't think anybody's ready until it happens. But as time went, I prepared myself for more and more of what it could be, and just started taking more advice from people that were older, that had kids for even longer than 3 years old, because they know and they understand the entire process of what I was about to go through. So.
When you did that selection process, did you look at what their kids turned out before you would take their advice? Or
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That's why I'm on this pedal with you, because I had to talk to you to besides my mom, my family, and then, you know, Derek and man, you put the next person, like the first person I call, because, you know, you've been, and you have boys. So, you know, you understand the process a little bit better. And I was raised by a single mother as well. So, and she had 2 boys. So, you know, having talks with you and having talks with my mom kind of just put things in perspective for me.
Okay. So now, Mr. Will, tell us a little bit about yourself and your children.
My journey started young at the age of 19. I had just started in my career that I thought I was going to be in forever. And you know, I got found about a child I had that was about 1.5 years old. So I wasn't able to see my firstborn child born, but anyway,
that must have been difficult for you. Yeah,
it was. You know, that's like some milestone. That's like a moment, but you know, I didn't have that. But yeah, he's Isaiah. He's 14. He'll be 15 this year. That's my oldest boy, and he's definitely like me in a lot of ways as far as his attitude, how he carries himself, and you know, having.
Please don't tell me he takes 24 hours to get dressed though when y'all got to go somewhere.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he does exactly that.
Because Will, you need like to give him like 3 days notice when you want to go somewhere.
Of course, yes, indeed. And he's like that, and it's crazy. And I'm like, I feel for whoever got to deal with him. But I mean, like I said, I see a lot of myself in him. He's definitely me, and it's hard to deal with. You know, it's hard to because now I'm seeing how I was when I was coming up, and now to see that, you know, especially with the generation that they came up in, they just exposed to too much technology and social things at a young age, and they're forming opinions that, not saying that they shouldn't, but it's having a teenager now in this time is not rough, but it's a challenge for real.
But you understand too that the reason that they have those things is because parents are allowing them.
Of course, yeah. You can only limit it so much, but most definitely got you got to control it as much as you can. You got to try to
So underneath that 14-year-old, who's next in line?
Kennedy, she's my 9-year-old. She'll be 10 this year. She's actually my most difficult child. She's special. She's so smart, but she
challenges you. You can't give her any answer.
Oh man, and it's I'm like, wow. Like, she's definitely very inquisitive, and she's just wants to know every little thing. And to me, she actually a little too grown for me, and it's a challenge. So it definitely, and my situation is a little different because I have 4 kids by 3 different women, so I'm dealing with 3 different personalities, and out there my kids don't live with me in my household, so everybody's different. So my rules and stuff might not apply to when they go home. So that's definitely a challenge for me. But other than that, I wouldn't change it for anything. But yeah, Kennedy is my 9-year-old. She'll be 10. After her is Jaden. Jaden's 7, and his sister Journey. Journey should be 3. And
2 girls and 2 boys. You balanced now, son.
Yes.
We done though. We done.
I mean, Journey will be 4 years old. That's what having kids do to you. Remember, they're gone. Can't remember anything. But those are my 2 youngest. Those are my babies. But even them, I'm starting to see them trying to, do little stuff to try to get over. And it's worse when you got them all together, and they just plot and manipulate and try to, finesse. It's crazy. It's funny though. I like to see it. I'm sitting back watching, but it's like I've been there, done that. So y'all not doing nothing. Y'all not inventing what y'all doing, but it's funny to see. And then it's crazy because I'm looking at all my kids, and they all, it's a piece of me and all of them, and I can see it. I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe I brought these kids like into the man. It's crazy, man.
But you have to think back to the age that you were and the knowledge that you had at the time, and they're probably
at the time, yeah. And I didn't really have I didn't have no older person, no older mentor to look up to. I just had either you or my mom, and I pretty much, it was trial and error. And I did the whole court custody thing in my first oldest kid, and then I kind of learned a little bit. I'm like, I can kind of alleviate some of that and just be proactive with everything, and just do what I gotta do and be responsible and just co-parent the way I need to. But it's definitely it's definitely a rough little journey, especially because my biggest thing is I feel like I don't, spend enough time with my kids because I'm so focused in on what I'm trying to do as far as like business wise and making sure they don't have to, make them tough decisions in life. So it's hard for me to try to balance, am I'm on this straight grind mode and am I going to limit my time seeing them or vice versa? So that's my big thing with me.
Well, I'll give you a piece of advice, son. Your kids are only going to be kids for a short period of time. You can always get a job. You can always start a business. You can always have a career. But your kids will not always be 14. They will not always be 3. They will not always be 7. So just remember that when you make your decisions for what you do. And you can't get that time back. So that's valuable within itself. So I know you want to be on your grind, but at the end of the day, do you remember what your parents gave you, or do you remember the fact that they were there as a grown man right now?
Definitely them being there.
So that's all I'm saying when you're making your decision.
Yeah, for sure.
So
of course.
Now I want to ask you guys, when you need advice about parenting, who has been the significant person that has stood out to be able to help you navigate through situations that have maybe stressed you out or made you feel like you weren't qualified to handle or you couldn't see a way out? Who's your go-to person?
I would say my brother. And the reason I say that is because, with his kids, they're older now, but I felt like I was part of helping raise them. And I seen him go through it by himself with 2 kids. And, I commend him for that. And, I give him big props also. But, because he's been through the struggle, the grind, and just, being on his last straw with them and all that stuff. So I've seen him, go through so much stuff. So, he's the number one person I call on if I got a problem, a question, or I'm feeling a certain type of way about something.
Okay. So for you, Corey, who do you call on?
I'd say for me, like I said, I'm still young in the game as of right now. Any situations I'll have with anybody, with anything, for the most part, it's honestly my mom. I'll have conversations with her about if I'm feeling down or certain stuff like that. But for the most part, I honestly just take from what I have seen from my brothers, Christian, Wayne, and even my dad, just the amount of time that they spend with their children and just like being so active. I was an uncle at the age of I think 17. So like I've always been around kids since when been out forever, and just seeing how my older brother's girls grew up and just not being around as much when Christian's children were growing up and being at school. And when I was able to get time with them, I literally put all that into what I do now. I just want to make sure I give her as much time as much time as I can, because I know that's going to be the greatest thing that she can know, just to know that I'm there. And that's the main thing that I haven't not even encountered. I've heard that, like, this is why we're having this segment right now, that Black fathers aren't around. So it's like, that's another chip on my shoulder that I walk around with, I guess, throughout the day.
If you're determined to prove incorrect.
Yeah, I think it's more so in the fact that, like, I'll get questions and I'm not going to like really get into it, but it's like the general question is like, yeah, how often do you have your daughter? Like, first of all, why is that a question that is even asked in like day and age? Like, why is it, dang, like how much, like, just say, all right, your daughter's beautiful. Why is that a question that people feel obligated to ask? Like, you're already assuming that I don't have my daughter. Like, how do you know that? Like, why is that a question? So that is one thing that I've heard that has irked my nerves quite a bit. I tell you, it is, yeah. You know, old lady.
So, who's your go-to? Who's your go-to for support when you're going through the challenges of being a single dad, raising kids that are teenagers and that are finding themselves right now?
Either my girlfriend or my best friend, or I'll talk to you. But other than that, that's it. Because we all have multiple kids and had them young, so we can all relate to each other. So sometimes you got to bounce ideas off other parents to see what works for them. Maybe it can work for you. Just approach things different. Because I'm the real stern, always yelling at the kids like trying to get them together. Like you're
the disciplinary.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I do a little bit too much, so I try to like back off a little bit. But I see they're trying to take advantage now, so it's time for me to. I'm gonna have to turn it back up a notch. These kids will play with you. They will try.
Yeah,
they will try.
Oh yeah.
Do you find that's more prevalent because of the fact that maybe that you're not together with the mother because they do have different sets of rules?
Absolutely, I can agree with that. That's the thing with all my kids, because like I said, they have different households, all three of them, so they all used to three different types of lifestyles. But I have the one, and it's the same to me. But it's hard for them to adapt to it. So that's definitely a challenge. But I'm just trying to open their eyes to different things and
expose them to different things.
Exactly. And they can ultimately they're going to pick and choose their path and do what they want, but it's as long as you can instill what you can instill in them, I can feel like I did my part as a parent. It's definitely a challenge in this day and age, with the exposure and everything and with everybody's agendas and all that. But like you said, you just gotta limit their exposure to that and try to block out as much stuff as you can. But at the end of the day,
the world is what it is.
It is what it
An
is.
Open book. So that brings me to my next question. What part of the parenting skills that you saw from your parents have you erased from your parental skills? And what parts of them have you continued to allow to flow in your relationship with your child?
I would say I'm like I've heard before. I'm open to it all. I'm open to it all. Like I said, it's like Will said earlier. It's like trial and error. So for me, it's just learning and seeing what other parents have done, even taken from you. I know that you raised your sons as a single mom, and certain things that you may have done that my parents didn't do. I take all that into context because to me, I've never really I've seen relationships, but I haven't seen like a long lasting relationships. Like, like how olden days were, like everybody together for like 50 some odd years. Besides like my grandparents, that's about it. So like I take in everything. I even listened to my grandparents before, rest in peace. My grandma, she was old. She was old with it. Like she had the old school teachings, like you need to do this, all remedies and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. No. But
I think that generation is commitment and consistency.
Yeah, and we way past that.
Yeah. The first wind that blows, I can't take that. So I think that may be one of the driving forces that we need to get back into our communities. Like we didn't give up on each other quickly. Yeah. Like even though someone like Will said he was in prison, like a lot of people would have given up on him and said, well, he ain't gonna end up nothing because he did some time. Right. But that doesn't mean that when you have a support system that says, in spite of what you've been through, you still got this. You still can do this. You can still be that role model that your sons and your daughters can look at and want to be like. But we don't do that. We're too quick to pull each other down or be like Corey mentioned earlier. People assume that he's not in his child's life on a daily basis just because of what? Because he looks the way he does. They think because he's a black man, there's no way that a black father could be involved with his child on that. And that's a myth. And you all are sitting here on this line saying that you have learned how to take yourselves out of it to do what is best for your child, even when you're not in a relationship with the person that's helped you create this individual. And that takes a lot of courage, strength, boldness, character, faith. I don't know about you. I don't know how your prayer lives are on here, but I hope you got one, because you will not be able to raise a child without being able to talk to God, because he's going to be the only one that truly can direct you. I tell Chris and Devin all the time, you did not turn out this way because I was so great. If it wasn't for God's grace and his mercy and the things that he shielded you from, you could be just like those people that are on drugs, in jail, in prison. But the grace of God has fell upon each one of you, and that's why you're still standing today. So I'd say, I think that you guys are an awesome fathers. I've seen your interaction with your kids. I can feel the love between you and your children. I know that you are wanting to do the right thing. Do you cross every T, dot every I? No. And any parent that tells you that they do, they're lying. We all struggle. The point is that you have to be able to admit when you're wrong. You have to be able to say, I'm sorry. Wish I could have done that better. If I had some more information, I probably would have made a different choice. So I commend you for doing what you're doing. I mean, I've been on this call with you guys for a minute. I've seen you had to snuggle with your son. I hear your children in the background calling you. And what was most impressive was the fact that with the interference, you guys didn't lose your cool. And, you know, as mothers, sometimes we're so stuck on what we've got to get done. When something is interrupted, we're like, why don't you go sit down somewhere? You see, I'm trying to do that. But you guys were very patient on the line. And that impressed me, because I was like, they don't even know what they're doing. They're standing there. And even though they've got all these things going on, they ain't losing their cool, and they're giving their kids what they need. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just got to give kudos to you. I mean, people don't know behind the scenes. Will was there trying to cook dinner. Corey had already given his baby a bath, put her down to bed. Alvin, we ain't gonna talk about the fact that he let the baby get a haircut. He didn't. And COVID.
Mask on.
But it's all good. It's all good. But you know, I just want to tell you that I'm grateful that you guys are willing to share your stories, because so many times these stories don't get heard. People don't hear about the fact that, like Will explained, he missing the birth of his child and not knowing his son for a year and a half. That was a feeling that he wouldn't want anyone to experience. Then Corey got to see the birth of his child, and Alvin got to see the birth of his child. Then Will made some unwise choices that almost prevented him from seeing the birth of his second child. But he was responsible, accountable, and he did some things to change some things so that he could be there, so his daughter would know him and have a relationship with him. So I think that you guys should be celebrated, because it ain't no joke being a parent. And I'm sure it ain't no joke being a Black father nowhere in the world right now. So I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see when, you know, Will, you walking yours down the aisle. Corey, when you walking yours down the aisle. Oh, so you don't feel that? You don't feel that? You don't want that for her? You don't want that for her?
Listen, listen. We're gonna pump the brakes so they're quick. Like y'all said, I got time. I'm not mentally there yet.
Well, honey, let me just tell you, whether you're mentally or not, because I can still remember when your boy came home and told me that Miss Townsend said that we have to do this. Miss Townsend said, and I was like, I don't care about Miss Townsend.
Hey, me and Miss Townsend gonna know each other. So every parent teacher conference, I'm in there. You know, you hear me? What we got to do to get this.
Hey, for real.
But that's good. Yeah. So is there any words of encouragement or inspiration that you would like to leave for our guests that may be struggling with being a single dad, maybe struggling with trying to work out some kind of communication with the mother of their child? Because all of y'all on this line are single by the definition of single. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but you're not married. And my boy down in the corner there, I'm still praying for him, because he ain't going nowhere. So I don't know why he just don't do the thing, but you know, it is what it is. You know your mama. She ain't just.
Is this where we like put our hashtags or like our IGs or something like that? Is that what you're trying to tell us? You trying to promote it? But nah, honestly, I would just say compromise where you can. Because at the end of the day, less stress is the best thing. It's the best thing for you, I tell you. So, that's what I would say.
Okay.
I would say, you know, definitely have those conversations, those tough conversations, those those times when you don't want to speak on certain things, those are the times you have to and you need to, because it's going to bring out the best of you and the relationship, co-parents, and in your kid, you know, because they're going to feel that energy. They're going to see it off of you. And, you know, it's going to make you better at the end of the day. So, you know, just and take it one day at a time, man. Like I said, every morning I kind of switched up things. I make sure I get up and pray. Thank the Lord that I even have a child to see every day. And I want to wake up and make sure I'm doing the right things and live out here for him now. And it's not for me. So, you know, this one day at a time out here. And on another note, it's MS Awareness Week. Shout out.
That's right.
I got MS, so
Yes,
I'm making y'all aware. If y'all got a chance, you're orange this week for your boy.
Yeah.
We got you. Will?
I would just say communication. Just communicate. Because it's needed. And I'm not talking about, you know, the texting, because with me, people can take things out of context, can read things a certain way. So you got to keep that verbal, you know, dialogue open, and just talk, man, talk things out. Holding things in and you know, just builds resentment, and just it makes things worse. And like my man said, the kids feel that energy more than anybody. You might not think they're affected by it, but they know, and they're watching. And you know, you don't want to bring them up in that type of environment, and you know, for them to think that that's okay, and it's not. No matter the situation at all, you know, whether you work out with the other parent or not, y'all still, you know, you shouldn't fake things to be with, you know, to try to make things work, because the kids know, they feel the energy, like I said. So just communicating, and you got to do what's best for, you know, the kids first. But also you got to, you know, make sure you're there yourself, for your sanity. So just that's being responsible, because they, you know, they depend on you. So you gotta be on top of things as a single parent, or co-parent.
So what I figured out from talking to you guys, you have to always say nice things about the other person, because that child of yours is created by both of you, right? That you have to communicate openly and effectively. It can't be fake, because it's going to have an effect on your kids. So I can't wait to see what the next 5 years is going to bring when you guys get into different stages of being a parent. And I hope that y'all continue on this journey, and you continue with the patience and the tolerance and the maturity that you guys have expressed tonight. So I want to say thank you. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you, Will. You are truly inspirations. And I am just so blessed to know all of you. So continue that journey of fatherhood, because you're doing it well. You're making it look easy.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for
We know it's not, but I'm just saying, you guys are making it look easy. I know that it's tough, but
it's also fun. So
exactly.
I hear that. So, yeah.
And you could never know that you could love someone more than you love yourself until you've had a child of your own.
Indeed.
Because you would give your life so that they could have life. So
absolutely.
Right. So I appreciate you guys. Until next time, please.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mom. Love you real hard. And Lessons Learned by Lisa. Deuces.
Bye-bye.
Bye.